It's been 40 years since Super Mario Bros. Launched on the NES back in 1985, and that means that it's Mario's 40th anniversary this year. So, in today's video, I've come up with a list of games I think Nintendo needs to announce for Mario's 40th anniversary to be a success. Let's jump right in. The first game I want to see Nintendo announce for Mario's 40th anniversary is a new Super Mario Bros. Collection. This collection would be packaged similarly to Super Mario 3D All-Stars, which came out in 2020 for Mario's 35th anniversary, but instead it would be a Super Mario 2D All-Stars with new Super Mario Bros. On the DS, new Super Mario Bros. Wii, and new Super Mario Bros. 2 on the 3DS. Now, since two of the games were on the DS and 3DS, which used two screens, they would need to be remastered for this collection. But Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon was remastered for the Nintendo Switch, and they made it work, so I think that both of these games could easily be remastered to fit on Switch or Switch 2. New Super Mario Bros. Wii is an exception because it does not need an entire remaster like New Super Mario Bros. And New Super Mario Bros. 2 do. But since this collection would already be remastering two of the games, I think it would make sense to also remaster New Super Mario Bros. Wii, which would make this entire collection 4K on Nintendo Switch 2. And considering that New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe also got an update to make it 4K on Switch 2, that would mean that the entire New Super Mario Bros. Series is in 4K on Switch 2. Now, as far as the likelihood of this remaster, a leak recently came out suggesting that it would be a part of Mario's 40th anniversary. This info comes from NintendoSoup.com with the article titled, quote, "Rumor, New Super Mario Bros. Collection planned for Series 40th anniversary." The article says, quote, "According to John Skinney, a leaker who previously shared accurate information about the Switch 2 before launch, one of these plans, referring to Mario's 40th anniversary, is a new Super Mario Bros. Collection for the Switch." Skinney claimed to have learned this information from an internal scheduling docs and partial localization assets via a contractor QA team he worked with before. And he leaked that a collection with New Super Mario Bros. On DS, New Super Mario Bros. Wii, and New Super Mario Bros. 2 on 3DS would be coming for Mario's 40th anniversary. Now, in my opinion, I believe that this remaster is pretty likely. It'd be a pretty easy remaster for Nintendo. They've already got the games, they just need to optimize them for Switch or Switch 2. Even in worst case scenario, if this game was $80, it'd still only be $26 per game, which is fairly good considering that they would be remastered. All in all, I think this would be a very likely game for Nintendo to announce for Mario's 40th anniversary, but you can't fully celebrate Mario's 40th anniversary without some new content. But luckily, the second game on my list, Super Mario Maker 3, would allow the players to make a lot of new content. It's been 6 years since Super Mario Maker 2 came out, and I think it's the perfect time for Super Mario Maker 3 to come out. Because with the Nintendo Switch 2, we have mouse controls now, which would work really well in Mario Maker considering that it's a course builder. Because the issue with Mario Maker at this point in time is that it's not really great to play on TV because using your control stick is just kinda clunky and slow. It's one of those games where you really just get a better experience when you play in handheld because the touchscreen is just so much better than using the control stick when you're in the course maker. But because mouse controls are more fluent and specific, it'd be a lot easier to play in TV mode, and thus it would make a lot of sense for a new Mario Maker. A new Mario Maker also would make sense because Super Mario Bros. Wonder has come out since Mario Maker 2 came out, so if they added that as a game style, it would make a lot of sense. Overall, I think that Super Mario Maker 3 would make a lot of sense as a game released for Mario's 40th anniversary. It would likely be one of the best showcases of mouse controls that's on Switch 2, and considering that that system is very new, it needs any mouse control games that it can get. The final game that I would expect for Mario's 40th anniversary is a new 3D Mario, whether it's just a small tease or a full-blown announcement. It's been about 8 years since the last full 3D Mario came out with Mario Odyssey. And while you could argue that Bowser's Fury was a full 3D Mario, it really was just an add-on to Mario 3D World to make the game look bigger. It was the first open world Mario, but it really didn't have that much content in comparison to a normal 3D Mario. So I think that it's time for a new 3D Mario to come out, and I see Nintendo going two ways with this. Firstly, they could go the sequel route, which is the more unlikely option, but it would definitely be an interesting route to take. Nintendo could choose the nostalgia route and make Mario Galaxy 3, which would honestly be a crazy thing to do in 2025, but it would be really cool to see. But the way I see it, Super Mario Odyssey 2 would be the most likely sequel if we did get a sequel to a 3D Mario. Odyssey has sold really well, people clearly like it, so if you just made a sequel that's very similar to Odyssey, it would be a pretty good 3D Mario game. But more likely what I expect to see is a brand new 3D Mario entirely. Nintendo has very recently been diving into the concept of full open worlds with basically no limits. They've been making games like Bowser's Fury, which I mentioned before, Mario Kart World, Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, and quite a few more. Overall, I think it would make the most sense if we had an open world 3D Mario. But anyway guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. I would really appreciate if you would like this video and subscribe to my channel if you enjoy my content, and comment down below what game you want to see for Mario's 40th anniversary. But anyway, thanks for watching and have a great day.